creatively speaking, and you know, because quite a lot of what I do is I'll have an idea and we'll decide we want to do something, and then you throw the idea open, and you know, I always think that 2 heads are better than 1, 4 heads are better than 2, you know, as long as you've got someone regulating that. So when I'm talking about communication, I'm talking just as much about listening as about being able to get your ideas across in a really kind of engaging way, which is of course important. Anyone who's creative can do that, or has a grounding in that. You know, what's really important is really listening and taking the time to listen to and understand another person's idea, and thinking, how can that fit into yours, or how can you think of something, as opposed to your initial idea, can you think of something that will add to what's already on the table, you know. So it's so often that you can go into a creative meeting, there'll be 3 people in there, clients, you know, maybe the contracted people that you're working for, and you can go into a creative meeting and you can all have a really exciting conversation about the same thing and all agree absolutely every point of it. You know, there's going to be 2 trees in the background, then there's going to be a pond, and then this is going to come out of the pond, and you know, and leave everyone feeling really excited, having defined everything, with everyone having a completely different idea of what you're going to build. So communication is really important. I think it's really, really important to have hobbies and life outside work, and to follow your interests, because I think that, you know, if they be ping pong or jogging or playing the ukulele or whatever they are, I think having an active mind that's interested in stuff and is taking in new information and is learning stuff serves you really, really well. I mean, I think, you know, creativity is like a muscle that you've got to flex. So, you know, I look for people who are enthusiastic about stuff and out there doing stuff off their own back. And creative directors have their area of expertise that they've come up in. Mine is flash animation. But to have an understanding of, you know, what coding can do, even if you're not a coder yourself, or, you know, or visual storytelling, narrative, you know, to have done a bit of writing, to have, you know, to understand, you know, how cameras work if you're filming, you know, as many computer applications as you possibly can, to have a grounding in them. By the time you get to be a creative director, you will have specialised in something to the point whereby someone says your work's of a standard whereby you can creatively direct. But you know, I get a grounding also in as much as possible. I'd also think a lot, and this isn't at all specific to what we do as a company, about narrative, in that whether you're designing a website, making a film, making a game, you know, everything has got a narrative to it, whether you're illustrating that narrative or not. But as the creative director, if you can identify that and explain it visually, then you're doing your job. It's just being really likable and nice and funny, you know. Especially when this is, because freelance market is really fiercely, there's lots of people doing it, and you know, there's going to be other people. There's always people out there who are as good as, if not better than you, which is fine and wonderful. There's always people to learn from. But you'll get given the job if you can do it well, but if the company says, God, they were really fun to have around, they're really nice to work with, let's get them in. So I'd say be nice.